how sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum.
I love how that song has basically everything about greeting. You know, Hine Ma Tov, Shalom Aleichem, all of the greeting. Aleichem Shalom. Yeah, it has everything. You get it all out of the way at once. It's
Salam
so
Aleikum.
exactly, in every language. Welcome, Shabbat Shalom. Let's take a nice deep breath of Shabbat air. How grateful we are, how very grateful we are to be together on this quiet and pleasantly nice November Friday. It was a bit frosty. I think we had our very first frost last night. I know it was icy when I was walking across the parking lot. And then it just got gorgeous. This was a wonderful week on the calendar as well. We started the month of November, which is always an exciting. How many of you are fall people? We did an exercise with Federation or something a little while ago, and he said, are you winter? Oh, for the beginning of religious school, are you winter people? Are you spring, summer? Of course, everyone likes summer, but some people liked fall, I have to say. And we began the month of Kislev, right, Harvey? We began it. That means we are less than 25 days away from Hanukkah. I can see the kids over there getting excited already. 25-day countdown till Hanukkah. Hard to believe. And I think there was one other thing. I don't even remember. It was probably a holiday somewhere in the world. So let's take a nice deep breath. And we're going to breathe in all of the wonders that we experienced this week. All the leaves changing. How glorious they are. And we'll breathe out everything we can do without this week. All right, I'm ready for Bruce to come over and officially welcome you into the space.
Speaking of the things that we want to bring in. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to a beautiful fall evening for a wonderful service. The rabbi and the cantor and Paul have all sorts of neat stuff planned for us this evening. When it was a little frosty this morning, the cantor called me and she said, parking lot tonight? And I said, no, we will still, I guarantee you, we'll at least very seriously consider one between now and like next spring. We'll at least seriously consider it, but you never know. In the meantime, it is a month of holidays. We have Thanksgiving coming up. Hanukkah is very early this year, so that's going to be this month. So stay tuned for details about this year's Hanukkah happening, which is kind of a hybrid, which makes sense considering how many of the things we've done this year have been hybrids. So stay tuned for information on that. That's coming up. And in the meantime, let's enjoy being together. It's cooling off a little bit out there, but it's nice and warm in here. And we're together on a Friday night. Shabbat Shalom.
Bruce, before you go, why don't I welcome you here and do the honors of lighting our candles?
Sure.
That would be terrific. We are going to begin page 120, our candle lighting.
You're going to have to read.
Oh, don't worry. You don't have to recite the blessing. We just need your Boy Scout skill there. Cantor will lead us. And if those of us joining virtually, feel free. Those of you, we do have a number of people that still join us from around the world, really. And wherever you are, if you do have candles, this is a nice ritual to do.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu
blessed are the candles that light our way into Shabbat. And last duty here, lift the Kiddush cup.
I think we can go to real wine.
Okay, I think so.
I think we can do real wine now for Kiddush.
And we
Okay.
got some new wine glasses. Really, even a clear, beautiful,
Oh, neat.
clear one that we know isn't kind of like
And, you know,
weird on the
usually
inside.
Most of our masks are dark colored, so if we spill a little, it's no big deal.
The issue is we end up forgetting it there, and then like a week later, I say we still have wine here. Anyway, it's not that I'm whining. So
Oh,
that was for you, Bruce.
thank you.
Page 123, our Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchilanu. Zikabrot l'maseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila l'mikveh kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, kivanu acharta v'yotanu Kidashta mikol habib v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. L'chaim, to life. Wonderful. Thank you, Bruce. We're going to turn to page 130 in a traditional prayer that we often say as we prepare to enter into Shabbat. Lechuna Ranana, one of my favorites.
Come, let us sing joyously. Lekuneranena, 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 Ladonai. Lekuneranena, 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 Ladonai. Naria, Naria, ito yishinu, nikadma panaha betoda. Naria, Naria, ito yishinu, bismirot Naria lo. Lekuneranena, 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 Ladonai. Lekuneranena, 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 Ladonai. Lekuneranena, 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 Ladonai. Lekuneranena, 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 Ladonai.
Come, let us sing joyously to Adonai our God. Raise a shout for our rock and redeemer. Let us come into God's presence with praise. Let us raise a shout for God in song, for Adonai is great, the great ruler of all divine things. We're going to continue now with L'chadodi as we welcome in Shabbat officially into the room. She's been waiting out there patiently. Mark, did you greet Shabbat? Okay, good. When you're the greeter, you're actually greeting Shabbat. Page 138, we're going to sing the first and the last verse. On the final verse, we rise, we face the doorway, and imagine as Shabbat literally is coming in, and then we wave to one another, and that way welcome each other into the room.
לחדותי לקראת קלה, יללה, 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 פני שבת לקבלה. לחדותי לקראת קלה, יללה, 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 פני שבת לקבלה. שמור ושכר דיבור אחד, איש ראיינו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ותהילה. לחדותי לקראת קלה, יללה, 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 פני שבת נקבלה. לחדותי לקראת קלה, יללה, 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 פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוקמוני המסגולה, בואי קלה, בואי קלה. לחדותי לקראת קלה, יללה, 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 פני שבת נקבלה. לחדותי לקראת קלה, יללה, 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 פני שבת נקבלה.
I love it. You know, it makes a big difference. We've had the wall closed the last couple weeks as we had rummage back there, and now it's open. Doesn't it feel so much bigger, so much fuller here with the door open? It's so wonderful. So much lighter too, actually. We remain standing for our call to prayer and community wherever you are. If you're joining us, we invite you to rise if you're able. Page 146, 146.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Adonai hamevorach, hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Hamevorach, hamevorach le'olam va'ed.
Let's turn to page 149 at the top, and we'll read together in the English. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way in which time and seasons glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. We continue on page 150 with Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat olam bet Yisrael, Amecha ahavtam, Amcha
Bless you, God, who loves us. We continue with the Shema 152, 153.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kavod, Malchuto.
You may be seated, we continue on page 154 with the Via Hafta.
Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavecha, u'b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol meyotecha, ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele, asher Anochi mitzavecha, hayom al levavcha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibartam bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, u'v'lechtecha b'derech, u'v'shochbecha, u'v'kumecha, u'kshartam le'ot hayatecha, והיו לתותפות ביניך וכתבתם המזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 157 at the top. Let's read together one of my favorite readings in here, inspiring us to social action. 157 at the top. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. With that in mind, I invite you to rise if you're able, and we're going to have our silent tefillah, silent Amidah. It begins on page 164 and continues till page 180. Feel free to sit or stand, whatever your custom, but whenever you're ready, you may be seated. We continue quietly. Create a pure heart within me. Let my soul wake up in your light. Open me to your presence. Flood me with your Holy Spirit, that I will stand and sing out the power of your forgiveness. I will teach your love to the lonely, and the lost will find their way home. Adonai, open up my lips, and my mouth will declare your praise. We're going to continue now with our healing prayers, and we turn our attention to those in our community in most need. And we'll be doing, just like last week, I believe we're going to be doing a new melody that Cantor had taught, which by now probably won't feel as new as last time. But first, let's take a moment to recognize so many people in our extended family, in our hearts, and in this room really need our prayers, and we send them out together. Gail Ackerhalt, Dr. Stan Breton, Ebony Burse, Noah Camacho, Karen Cooper, Peggy DeLong, Arthur DeZelke, Sue Frank, Charles Garfinkel, Michael Getting, Irene Green, Reed Hefner, Nancy Hersbrunn, Paula Jones, Barbara Lamb, Gail Lewis, Gwen Lowinger, Diane Lynch, Larry Max, Jean McGarry, Helene Mesh, Ryan McGowan, Jennifer Milich, Ida Neveler, Cantor Penny Myers, Cheryl Pratt, Cheryl Rossi, Mary Rumez, Mimi Shapiro, Don Sherman, Rosemary Varner, Fred Vinette, Meg Wagner, Anita Wiesel, Jeffrey Winnick, Mark Yablin, Elizabeth Jeezy Yeager, Christine Zalowiski, Hannah Ezra Ben Shual. If there's other names that you'd like to offer, please feel free. So the words that we're going to be turning to are on page 677, or at least something close to that. This is the prayer of Moses to Miriam, 677.
Now you'll repeat after me. Dear God of our ancestors,
Dear God of our ancestors,
help us renew our faith.
help us to renew our faith.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Bring peace to all our days.
Bring peace to all our days.
And now, Rifanalanu. And now, Rifanalanu. Restore our strength of body.
Restore a strength of body.
Help clarify our minds.
Help clarify our minds.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Rejuvenate our light.
Rejuvenate our minds.
And now, Rifanalanu. And now, Rifanalanu. Thank you for all these blessings.
Thank you for all these blessings.
Throughout our days and nights.
Throughout our days and nights.
We celebrate the journey.
We celebrate the journey.
this precious gift of life.
this precious gift of life.
And Rifana Lanu. And Rifana Lanu. And Rifana Lanu.
A complete healing of body and soul. How grateful we are for the new song, and I think people are starting to catch on. It's a wonderful melody, which I think will become a staple here in our community. So I want to take you back hundreds of years to Italy. Many of you here have been to Italy. I was there as a young person. Beautiful country. But this was not an easy time for Jews. And the Jews, as they were throughout Europe, particularly in places like Spain and Italy, they were invited to a contest, perhaps even in the Colosseum. That's how I imagine it. And they got invited to a contest of religious faith. The community had gathered. By now, they understood exactly what was going on. This was not a fair contest. You're going to have the Pope, and then you're going to have another representative from the Jews. And no matter who they put out there, it really doesn't matter. So the Jews of Rome, they gathered together and they said, let's just send out Shamil. Shamil will be just fine, because the truth is we have no chance as well. Why send out our great rabbis and great scholars when it makes no difference at all? So Shamil goes out there carrying his little bag, and the Pope is on one side and Shamil is on the other. You've probably heard the way this goes. So first, the Pope holds out 3 fingers, and Shamil looks across and holds up his 1 finger and goes like this. Next, the Pope goes like this, pointing to the ground. And Shamil says, oh yes, pointing up. And Shamil says, makes a circle around him. And next, the Pope takes out an apple and presents it. And Shamil opens up oh no, sorry, I got the whole joke mixed up, didn't I? Okay. The point of the joke, I need Bruce up here. He's going to help me next. The point of the joke basically is that the Pope gets up in front and he thinks he's signaling that the God is 3, and that the Shamil is signaling God is 1, and that God is here, and Shamil says, no, God is everywhere, and that he has the communion there. So that he says God is in the form of Jesus. And Shamil says, no, we have the first fruit and the first sin that we need to remember. And Shamil says, the Pope said, no, we had 3 days. And I said, no, we're not leaving. And the Pope says, you need to get out of town. And Shamil says, no, we're going to stay right here. And the Pope takes out his lunch, so I took out my lunch. All right, I got to the end of the punchline. I love this joke, first because I have to believe this was one of the first jokes ever told. Or, it's got to have gone back hundreds and hundreds of years. It feels exactly from the time of the disputations. And we still tell it today. I think it was probably on Dan's list as one of our jokes over this past year and a half. And also because it's so true. Half the time we get together and we misunderstand each other. Malcolm Gladwell has a new book, I think last year it came out. It was called Talking with Strangers. And he goes through all of these experiences, like Neville Chamberlain talking to Hitler, each thinking they understand each other, and each not understanding each other at all. And he goes even to conversations, some of these incidents with police and bystanders, and how that just spins out of control because we just don't understand what is happening. In this week's Torah portion, we have Jacob and Esau, who are from the same family, but they might as well be from different planets. Jacob is the quiet, scholarly type who is his mama's boy. Esau is a man of the field who goes out hunting. He's strong and virile. He would be probably a quarterback today in today's terms. And they just don't understand each other. And basically, we have 7 or 8 chapters of Genesis of just them making mistake after mistake after mistake. Each time they think they understand the other, but they don't. And each time they walk away disappointed, and it impacts their lives in terrible ways. In thinking of this story in Jacob and Esau, it really feels like a very contemporary story. And actually, it feels like a story for November in particular. This is the month of Thanksgiving. And when we think about two brothers coming together, two family members being eventually reunited, I can't help but think of the Europeans and the indigenous tribes that were there, the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag. This year is actually the 400th anniversary. The 400th anniversary. I haven't seen anything. Have you seen anything? We have the very first feast, the 400th anniversary from 1621. And I think that the reason is we still are not seeing each other. We know the story. How does the story go? Tell me in brief what you learned in your school. Just call it out. What happened in 1621 at that first feast? Pilgrims arrive, right? 1620-ish, and they have their first harvest. Did you guys learn this, right? And they want to celebrate the bounty, and they invite their native families, the Wampanoag tribes, and they have a glorious feast, right? Right? That's how you learned it, something like that. The truth of the matter is it was really a comedy of errors that could have gone disastrously wrong, but somehow in that moment it actually ended up okay. The Pilgrims come ashore. Like many ships before it, there were many, many different trips already by this. The Wampanoag were used to them. But this time the Pilgrims were a little different. You know why they were different? They had women and children with them. And for the native customs, that meant that they were not a threat at all. You don't bring women and children into a battle. So they automatically just left them alone. And then the Pilgrims have their first feast. By then, their whole community has already been decimated. They're probably half or a quarter of the size of where they started off. And they start shooting ammunition into the air, something the native tribes had never seen before. And they thought it was a battle going on. But this was supposed to be a celebration. So they come with 90 warriors come together, and they're prepared actually to help out. And what they find there is a group that really doesn't have enough food. They have no idea what they're doing. So the Wampanoag go back and they bring a feast because the Pilgrims, who are less than the Wampanoag warriors, would never have been able to feed them. And we have the first feast. Beautiful, right? Except it's not so beautiful anymore. 1621. Think of the year. 1619 was the year the slaves first arrived on these shores and the beginning of that hundreds of years of enslavement. I should say enslaved people, that's how they're called, arrived on the shores. And the beginning of that terrible section of our history began. 1621 already is far removed from 1492. A lot has happened. 90% of the native population, or close to it, was wiped out. At that point, a great number, including the Wampanoag had 40,000. By now, they're down to just probably 4,000 or 5,000 in just the space of a few years. And it's really incredible. The story is really this point of one point of connection with all these disasters around it. How do we make sense of it? How do we talk with strangers? How do we figure out what to do? How do we mourn this history and celebrate fully Thanksgiving? I don't know. I don't have any answers here, just so you know. But I wanted to share a story from today. Literally from today. I got called, as is often the case. I get called about things that go on in the community, particularly that affect our Jewish community. And there was a sign that was on a church that was here in Western New York that someone had seen. It said, "Sunday's sermon, Jewish objections answered." And as obviously people driving by, they thought, maybe we should check into this. This is not exactly what we want to see. Again, Sunday's sermon, Jewish objections answered. And so I called up the pastor. I figured it's probably a misunderstanding. And indeed, it was. He was reading from Romans. He's an evangelical type, well-meaning. He believes in proselytizing all of us, but we'll forgive him for his foibles. But he just had no understanding that if you put this out on the sign, Jews aren't going to see the story from Romans. They're going to see all the persecution that we've faced over the years. And we had a dialogue, a conversation. It wasn't perfect. We didn't come to a perfect understanding of each other. But the end result, the sign now says, objections answered, Jewish removed. And the secret of all these kind of stories is don't think that we know each other. Don't think we understand each other. Thanksgiving for the native populations, including Western New York, is a day of mourning. It's not a day of celebration. We have a similar phenomenon in Israel as well. Don't think that we understand it. Let's try to see each other face to face. Let's try to really understand each other. When Jacob and Esau finally meet in a couple of weeks, they hug, they kiss. I hope that we can come to that understanding. We have a lot of water under the bridge, but we're going to keep trying to tell this story because stories are important, and this story is important. The story of this first Thanksgiving, the story of Jacob and Esau, the story of the disputations. Let's try to see each other in each other's eyes. Let's try to have conversations before we have fights. And in doing so, maybe we will live like Jacob and Esau, relive that final interaction, the one that we want to get to, that hug and the kisses, the way we want Thanksgiving to be. I do envision that in the future. If you have any ideas about how to approach the story in the near future, please let me know. We'll keep working it out. In just a couple weeks, Bill Hennessy will come here and give his approach, but I wanted to share these words to you today. Hine ma tovu ma'anayim. May we stay together, brothers and sisters. May we see each other as family. If we do so, may we find it in our heart to find peace in this world, and we say, Amen. Okay, let's just take a moment to reflect. That was a lot, so hold on one second. Okay, that was good. I want to thank Cantor. I think she gave me this chair. I don't know. You probably noticed that I needed a chair.
From a rehearsal.
Oh, there you go.
We're getting ready for Hanukkah, everybody, and there was a rehearsal in here.
So yes, we're getting ready, and it was perfectly placed. I really, that's an example, another example of misunderstandings, but that have happy endings. We're gonna.
Leave it there.
Oh yes, I'm walking all the way back to those chairs. We rise, page 586 for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach
page 591. You may be seated. We turn to page 598, our Mourner's Kaddish. I want to recognize that this is the very first anniversary of Myra Horowitz, and we do miss her up here. Our thoughts and prayers with Harvey. We are mourning Virginia Bergman, Gloria Berzone, Michael Berwick, Laura Hess, Peter Q, Sheldon Macon, Gary Sloan, Yvonne Stocker, William Truhaft, Eric Weiner, and Mindy Weinman, all who passed in the last 30 days. On our yard site list from years past, we remember Albert Barback, Herbert Bello, Deborah Cohen Bloomberg, Bertha Broder, Louis Cantor, Louis Siegel Constantino, Catherine Faxstein, Hannah Fishman, Beatrice Frank, Mildred Frank, Charles Franke, Jacob Fry, Abraham Gamler, Jacob Goldenberg, Natalie Glickman, Isidore Greenfield, Ardith Grosser, Gertrude Hannaford, Myra Horowitz, Cantor Harry Hart Kaufman, Joseph Kornblatt, Harry Krebs, Louis Queller, Herbert Levenberg, Olga Liebengards, Libby Linder, Beatrice T. Lipsit, Esther Rosenfeld Lipsit, Ruth Malik, David Markel, Elsie Mitofsky, Harry Moss, Irene Pearson, Edward Pickell, Solomon Pohl, Lynn Reich, Bernard Robinson, George Rosenfeld, Helen Rosikoff, Sidney Schoner, Carol Lessis Schwartz, Sadie Silberman Finkelstein, Sarah Sletsky, Stephen Sweet, Basie Sapainik, Ilya Lavroman, Louise Wasserman, Ruben Weinstein, and Cy Yaloff. If there's other names you'd like to say, just please raise your hand. All those whose custom it is to rise, the Mourner's Kaddish is 598. Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Bialma, Divrach, Irite, Viamlik, Malchute, B'chayechon, Viamachon, B'chaye, Dechol Beit Yisrael, Bagala v'zman kariv yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabam v'barach le'olam olmei almaya. Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei de kudasha b'rechu. Le'olam min kol berchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechamata. Damiran v'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlamar rabam min shemaya. Chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imra amen. O says shalom v'imramav. Huya says shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony and high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to all the world, and we say amen. Zikranam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. You may be seated. And again, I'd like to invite up our immediate past president, Bruce Corris.
Shabbat Shalom again, everyone. Mazel tov to Reed Bloomberg on his upcoming bar mitzvah tomorrow afternoon. Thank you to Rabbi Alex, Cantor Frank, Paul Staley for a lovely service tonight. Also, we want to thank our ushers, Marcia Bougie, Mark Nightinger, and Sheila Bernard Tucker, two of whom were toddler ushers. Never mind. We would like to thank everyone who RSVP'd tonight. It is so important for us to get an accurate head count so we can make sure our seating is set up properly, we have enough onigs to go, service leaflets, things like that. Chevetas will be back not this coming Tuesday, but a week from Tuesday, November 16th, from 4 to 7 or until sold out. Walter, you know what to do. Visit our website to place your pre-orders, and of course you save $1 until up until 11:30 a.m. the day of the event. You don't have to even, the deadline isn't even the day before. Speaking of good things to eat, the deadline has been extended until what, tonight? Where's Sheila? Tonight? For the Becker Farms fundraiser, homemade pies, cookies, fudge, and jams. So deadline extended to tonight. Talk to Sheila right after the service if you still want to place your order. This Sunday, where's Yanina? There you are. Join Dr. Yanina Foster Sunday night at 7 because Shalom Ruach is back. Join her for song, chant, silence, and sharing. That will be via Zoom. Next Friday, we will be here in the sanctuary at 7 o'clock p.m. The gift shop will be open prior to services. Sue Frank, thank you for helping us out with that. She will be there to help you with Hanukkah items or anything else that you need. So it's November, which means Thanksgiving, which means Thanksgiving baskets. This, I believe, is our 35th or 36th year of doing this in conjunction with North Presbyterian Church. We will be taking donations of canned vegetables, stuffing mix, potatoes. There's a whole list of stuff, I believe, in the high notes, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, we're taking donations of food. Frozen turkeys are very much needed, and cash donations. Plus, we could use volunteers the Saturday before Thanksgiving to pack up the baskets, the Sunday before Thanksgiving to hand them out as the organizations come and pick them up. It's a wonderful thing. I mean, like I said, we've been doing this for 35 years, and we help so many families. And our temple members just step forward so generously to help this. If you'd like to know more about it, talk to Chris Cohan right after the service. He will answer all of your questions. So the cantor alluded to this earlier, as did I. Friday, December 3rd is Buffalo Billica Hanukkah. Told you it's a hybrid this year. That's at 7 o'clock, our Erev Shabbat service. Wear your favorite Bills clothing or just Bills colors. We're going to have, as we've done in the past, a communal menorah lighting. So we're going to, you can enter. Ooh, how cool is this? The Buffalo Bills Menorah Contest. So, and you can RSVP to get a latke box to go. So make sure you let Joanne know if you're interested in that. And again, Friday, December 3rd, Hanukkah is early this year. First night of Hanukkah is right after Thanksgiving, and we will be together on Friday, December 3rd. If you need anything, be sure to reach out to the cantor, the rabbi, Joanne, Todd, or myself. We are here for you. I have a secret. This is just between us. Monday is the rabbi's birthday. Oh, secret's out of the bag. Why don't we sing happy birthday to him tonight? Cantor, do you want to lead us in a happy birthday to the rabbi?
We have a couple other birthdays coming up. Yonina had a birthday this week as well, and Mark had a birthday this week. So we can include them also.
Yom Holedet Sameach, Yom Holedet Sameach,
Yom Holedet Sameach, Yom Holedet Sameach, and many more. So, I'm not going to ask you your age, but I know you're not a young rabbi anymore. But isn't this about the time where you should be like sprouting whiskers?
Redheads are very lucky, like Esau. We don't have to get gray hair for a while.
There you go. Well, happy birthday to the rabbi. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Please be sure to pick up an onik to go as you go. Shabbat shalom.
Thank you, Bruce. It served me right because we had to celebrate your birthday. He got his revenge on me. Thank you very much. And I really appreciate it. And happy birthday to Yonina and Mark, too. I hope it's wonderful. November is quite a full time in our community. Oh, yours was right before. Okay, right before. Okay, well, I think that we have reached the end of our service, and we are going to go to Adon Olam on 6:25, and then we'll do Hamotzi afterwards.
Adon Olam Hashem Malach B'terem kol בידו הפקיד רוחי בעץ אישן בהירה ואם רוחי גביעתי אדוני לי אלוהי רע אדוני לי ואלוהי רע
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. As you came in peace, may you leave in peace. Please return the prayer books to the rack outside. Please take out the leaflet. That'll make it a lot easier on our ushers. Thank you. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.